Good morning. This is Rocky Mountain Edibles. Thanks for joining us. You know, today is kind of a memorial trip for my dad. He recently passed away. I've really been missing him recently, and this is just bringing back a lot of great memories. He's the one responsible for giving me my passion for the outdoors. He was taking my brother and I camping, hiking, from the time we could just barely walk, and it's just kind of been a fundamental, essential part of my life ever since then. He also got me started on my interest in wild edible plants, and so I know today he would really enjoy this. You know, I woke up to the sound of birds singing after a beautiful night, being able to look up at the stars. I'm enjoying some of his French press coffee in one of his favorite mugs, and right now I'm using one of his favorite camp chairs. Anyway, before I get started today, I am actually doing a little bit of research before I go out and look for some of the plants I'm looking for today. Although I am familiar with these plants, I always like to make sure that my knowledge is very fresh in mind, just so I can make sure of the identification of these various plants. So anyway, we're getting ready to get started, and I'm real excited about some of the plants we're going to be taking a look at. So right now, the book I'm using is called The Flora of Colorado. It is really important to get a good flora guide for whatever region you're looking at, because there are, of course, thousands of different flowering plants in any given state, and sometimes plants can look similar enough that it can be very difficult to differentiate between them. And that is particularly true for some of the species of plants I'm looking for today. So again, I highly recommend a great flora guide. In addition to a great flora guide, it's also important to have ethnobotany guides as well. Right now I have this massive tome written by Daniel Moorman called Native American Ethnobotany. Essentially what it does is it takes every known record and efficiently records the uses of various plants, whether it be using the plants for food or for medicine or for ceremonial purposes. Anyway, this guide has been indispensable, and I have actually learned quite a bit about it. It's not really told in narrative form, so it's important to be aware of that, but it does contain some very useful snippets of information about any particular plant that you might be interested in knowing about. I'm currently looking up a couple of plants I know I will be finding today, and just kind of reminding myself how various tribes in this region and throughout this part of the West actually use this plant, and the other plants I'm going to find. All of these that I'm looking for today were used as food. Some of these plants were used as herbs, and for some of these plants the roots were actually eaten. Sometimes these could be eaten raw, other times you want to cook these. And right now I am turning to the family of plants known as the Apiaceae, otherwise known as the parsley family. In this particular area where I'm at right now, there are a number of different Apiaceae species that grow in this area, and like I said, some of them look so similar to each other that biologists have even had to start doing genetic studies to determine what genus some of these plants actually belong to, because in some cases these species look so similar that even experts have a hard time telling the difference between some of the species members. I've been in this area before, and I know to expect plants in the Smopterus genus, as well as the Origenia genus and the Lomatium genus as well. All of those are in the Apiaceae or parsley family. This flora guide is organized by family, and so I am currently in the part of the book that refers to the APIACEAE. And basically, the flora guide uses different characteristics to help one begin to narrow down what specific species of plant they happen to be looking at. I also know that there's a really incredible plant that's growing in this area, and that is referred to as Claytonia lanceolata, otherwise known as spring beauty. It's one of my very favorite plants, and it happens to be edible as well. My brother and I can remember throughout our lives my dad referencing his favorite scripture, and it was something we mentioned at his eulogy back about a month ago, and it's Psalm 103, and this is a perfect morning to recite that. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Miss you, Dad.